Time to round up a big topic of the week now. With early voting beginning tomorrow, taxpayers in Katy have a big decision to make. A $750 million bond issue for Katy ISD is on the ballot. District officials say the bond would require a half-cent tax rate increase and that it's necessary to accommodate the district's rapid growth. The proposal includes 6 new campuses, renovations to existing schools, and a controversial new 12,000-seat stadium. Many voters are frustrated because they wanted the bond split up as opposed to having the stadium lumped into the proposal. And this is our topic this half hour. We want to hear from you on our Fox 26 Facebook page. You can also weigh in on Twitter. Be sure to use the hashtag Fox26 for live. Joining us live in the newsroom is our Fox 26 Roundup panel, and it's led by our legal analyst, Chris Tritico. Chris, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, this is the largest so-called debt request to appear on any Texas ballot in this election, right?
It absolutely is. In the district, Katy got a little bit smart by, instead of last time, if you'll recall, they did an election just for the stadium, and it failed miserably. This time they said, let's lump it all into one, scale back the stadium a little bit and see if we can get it through. So there's the opposition, which is not nearly as organized as it was last time, is opposed to paying off this maintenance debt with a bond election, which is perfectly lawful under Texas law. And the interest rates are so low right now, I don't know why you would be opposed to that. And then they're also still opposed to the stadium deal that they're doing. But in a district the size of Katy, 2 stadiums might make a little bit of sense, Mustafa, to me.
Well, and it's growing rapidly, and we have to accommodate for that growth. We have to make sure that the kids have a place to get their education. So it's time that we pass this bond in Katy. There is opposition. I mean, I'm not sure if it's more or less than last time, but being on a general election ballot, I think continuing to kind of appeal to a narrow conservative base, they have to broaden their appeal and talk to everybody. You
know, Jackie, you and I were looking at this Facebook page earlier. There's 2 points about the Facebook page that are interesting to me. First is this opposition to paying the maintenance. They want to pay it only out of the maintenance budget. That really strains the whole budget, I think, when you've got maintenance the size that Katy does. And second, this stadium issue, and the part of the stadium issue that really intrigued me was, not in my Katy neighborhood, take your traffic and your noise somewhere else. In other words, I'm not opposed to a stadium, just don't put it here.
Yeah, but you're going to find NIMBYs everywhere, in every community. And the main difference between maybe this bond referendum versus the one that failed before is that the one before was just mostly the stadium. And it was the largest proposed, most expensive stadium in the country. Now they've lumped the stadium with 6 schools, maintenance, rehab, and you're going to see it's going to be more difficult for those who are opposing this bond referendum to be organized and to say no more, because you have the 6 schools lumped with the stadium, and people know with the growth that's going on in Katy, they do need the schools.
They have to have the schools, and
right.
Now they can't vote against the stadium for fear they're going to lose the schools.
Exactly. So that's probably why they lumped both of them together.
Absolutely.
And we have a much better chance of getting it approved.
We haven't seen nearly the opposition that we saw last time.
No, you haven't.
All right, let me go to Sally. We'll come back to you, Mustafa, in a minute. Sally's monitoring our social media.
All right, let's check out one of the tweets that's talking about Katy ISD bond. This is from Jamie Fraser. She's a Houston Chronicle reporter, and she's asking, which political action committee is going to be the one to win the fight over the proposal. You've got $1,000 on the no side, and then you've got $120,000 on the yes side.
Well, and that's what we're talking about here, Mustafa, is you don't see the organized opposition that you saw 2 years ago or a year ago when they just had a stadium proposal.
Well, and so on the organized side that are for are home builders and other businesses that have interest in this. The against side, although they don't have a lot of money, they tend not to need a lot of money because it is more of a grassroots oriented type of campaign. We need this bond in Katy. The Lone Star College also has a bond that's on the ballot. Sugar Land's got a bond that's on the ballot. So across the state, if we're going to build our infrastructure, whether it's transportation or schools, we're going to need funding to do it. We
have several ISDs that have bond referendums. Cy-Fair just passed one. Fort Bend has one. HISD just passed one. So this is going in the trend that as you're seeing a lot of the growth that's going in. And again, the reason why the difference in the dollar amounts, it's not because a lot of the vendors are going to be supporting the ProPAC, but the grassroots that's working against it, it's really harder for them to get momentum when you're saying we don't want more schools, and you're clearly seeing the evidence of more children coming in, and all of the schools are at capacity.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. Sally, we'll be back in just a few. I'm a professional. Just a few minutes. Talk about the subpoena to the ministers.